Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Come on and get this tea. Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Come on and get this tea. Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Come on and get this tea. Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Come on and get this tea. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Topics, Tantrums, and Tea. De Niro, is that you? You come in acting up. Is that you?
It is. I'm so sorry. My MacBook is about to die,
Oh,
and I left
Mickey.
my charger at work, and so
Are
my
you
daughter.
serious?
Yeah, but my daughter she's gonna bring my I got a Chromebook. She's bringing my
Okay.
Chromebook. Okay.
I was gonna say because
So
we need that story, ma'am.
so she brings down my Chromebook. I was
Awesome.
like, oh.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Listen, thank you. Thank you so much for everybody who's here. 1 second, De Niro, I see you. I'll give you 1 second. We are happy to have y'all here tonight. If you were not here for the first I Heart My HBCU session, you missed one. So we had such a good time doing that and such a good time reminiscing that we decided we had to do it again. We had to do the I Heart or I Love My HBCU. So that's what we're doing today, our second edition of I Love My HBCU. If you went to an HBCU, you already know. If you didn't go to an HBCU, you about to find out. Because there is nothing like going and being enveloped and being nurtured at an historically black college and university. But we should know that anyway, because everywhere you go, Big Mama gonna make you feel good. That's just the way it is. We don't get these arms like this for nothing, right? It's all it is about nurturing and giving people what they need to survive. And that is what happens at an HBCU. I'm not saying it doesn't happen at regular university, but I'm saying that there's a different kind of nurturing, a different kind of enveloping, a different kind of love, a different kind of evolving. You know, we evolve in a different way when your support system is so rich, and that's what you get at a historically black college and university. So we have a ball reminiscing about it because it is what it is. So if you're just logging on, thank you for coming on. All of you who are out just in the chat for right now, do us a favor and share the stream. And here's the big thing: you got a challenge. I'm challenging everybody here tonight. The challenge is, if you know of a youth who is between the ages of 16 and 25 and may be considering a college or university, get them on this feed so that they can hear and they can be a fly on the wall. If they have questions about attending an HBCU, we probably got the answers. If we don't have the answers, we know where to send them. So we want our babies to get everything they need to be successful. And my experience is you're going to get more of what you need at a HBCU. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we have thank you. Denaro, you were going to say something before I started. What were you going to say?
It wasn't me, Matt. It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you. We found out it wasn't you. So we have two rounds of stories tonight. I'm super excited about this. 2 rounds of stories, and they're coming from all over the place. So the first round, you are looking at the first round right now before you. So I'm just going to let them introduce themselves. You all tell everybody your name. Tell them what university or college you hail from, and one fact that they may not know about you. Let's start in the top, or at least top for me. Let's start with Miss Nikki. Uh-oh, her thing may be gone. Nikki, did you hear me?
Girl, you know, I'm having issues. But my name is Nikki Bray Mayo. I hail from, I was educated at Winston-Salem State University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And one fact about me is I am a member of a school board with Village Academy in Dearborn, Michigan.
Thank you, Miss Nikki. Thank you very much. Next to Miss Nikki, at least on my screen, is Natasha Dub. Natasha, give us some information about you.
Alrighty, so I am Natasha Woody. I hail from the Clark Atlanta University, where I thought it was so nice. I matriculated twice. I did my bachelor's and doctorate at CAU like a fool. The student loan people. And one fact about me is that I pretty much have been an Atlanta girl my whole life and probably will never change that. So that is why I went to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, the only university in the Atlanta University Center.
Okay. Now I didn't know that. You just saw that's interesting. That's a fact.
Morehouse, Morris Brown, Spelman, all colleges. You cannot get a postgraduate degree from those institutions.
You better educate us on today, because that's what folk from HBCUs do. They smart asses, smarty pants. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Coach D in the bottom. Give us some information about you.
Well, I am Denaro Williams, aka Spoon. If I go to my college days, I went to Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee from 1998 to 1992. And one thing that people may not know is that I strategically chose Tennessee State University to continue my running career. And when I got there, they had switched conferences from the SWAC, which is the Southwest Athletic Conference, to the OVC, which is the Ohio Valley Conference, that kicked out Bell Track, and I wanted to cry full tears. So, yeah, I had to do some other things while I was there. We'll talk about that later.
All right. And beside Coach D is Mr. Phillips. Give us some information about you, Mr. Phillips.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Kano Phillips, Pontiac product. Pontiac Northern, and Vicky, you know it's the best food.
Oh
yeah, no, but okay.
No, it's about them Chiefs.
Yeah, took my education out of Grambling State University in 1989. I was on that 5-year plan. And I think all y'all on this call know a little bit about that 5-year plan too, don't
uh,
you? And matriculated and the 2 degrees out of it, pre-law political science and mass communications. And when I was down there, I had a real different career. I ended up on one end, I ended up becoming the mascot, the tiger, and on the other end, I ended up running the student government association. So I gave anyone who looked at me, they had a complex or they thought I was bipolar. But it's good to be on this call with all of y'all this evening. This is what it's about. HBCU stand up.
Yes, yes, indeed. He said, let me just get in on this real quick. He said, I know y'all know about that 5-year plan. So remind me later. Look, Natasha said, no, not me. I don't know nothing about that. Remind me later to tell y'all
my daddy was
why I got this. What you?
My daddy was not having that. He was getting out in 4.
Listen, Kano. I don't know about the 5-year plan, but I know about the 4 years and 2 trimesters, because that's how I ended up at Central State. But we'll talk about that later. That's something different. So I know all about that. Yeah, I know all about that. So listen, thank you all. I am so glad to hear from you all tonight. I'm telling you, I am excited about the fact that so many universities are represented here. I am excited about that. I represent 2 universities, as I just said before. I represent Wilberforce University and Central State University. I started at Wilberforce University and did 2 trimesters at Central State University to finish it off. If y'all want to know about that, check out the last episode of I Love My HBCU, and you'll find out how that transpired. But long and short of it is, my ass is here, and I am degreed 2 or 3 times. You feel me?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So God bless the HBCU. Absolutely. God bless the HBCU. So tonight, listen, we have a total of 4, as you see before you, I won't be in this round. So we have 4 people that are going to share their stories tonight with you for this first round. But we do have space for probably one other person to share at the end of these rounds. So if anybody is listening and you got a story and you like to share, shoot me a text and let me know. And you can shoot me the text too. You can just put it right here in the chat. Actually, let me know if you're interested. And we do have some time for one person to share at the end. Nikki, you said you can't hear. Okay, Nikki's gonna work on her equipment. But yeah. I just want you all to know that is the case. So in the chat so far, I'm going to say hello to, first of all, let me say Kano Phillips is a celebrity. Let me say that. And I'm going to tell you why he's a celebrity, and then I'm going to move on. He is a celebrity because he is a product of Miss Lorene Phillips. And I'm saying that because she was my absolute favorite. And most of you already know this story. So I'm not going to tell it.
I didn't know that. I thought about that. Sorry.
What? Kano Phillips is Mrs. Phillips' son. So that makes him very special. That makes him a celebrity in my eyes. So in the chat.
So Vicky, wait a minute.
Okay.
You hear what she said? The only reason I'm special because she like my mama. You know what?
Well, you done your own things, but I'm just saying, in my eyes, Miss Phillips. Hey, I got to give it up to your mom. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I cannot help it.
In front of everybody, you gut punching when you don't just us, but you have to do that in front of the company. Thanks.
You the man in your own right, though. You the man in your own right. I can't take that from you. I really can't. He's doing fabulous things in Yaktown, blowing us up and putting us on the map. So I can't cut you at all.
Yes, ma'am.
So to get started, hello to everyone in the chat. We're going to get started with the first story. And the first story is from Miss Natasha Woody. And I'm going to just say this because I'm proud of her. When I met her, this was not the case, but I'm going to say Dr. Natasha Woody because that's what she is. She has a doctorate degree, and she's a lot younger than most of us on this panel. So I just want to give her props for that. Dr. Woody is going to give us her story from Clark Atlanta University, and the name of her story is From the Window to the Wall.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. Vicky, can you let me in? Because I'm in on my other computer. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Please
Sure can. No problem. I think I'm gonna have to hold on one second. What do you see? Oh, I see. Let me remove you here,
Why she
and
living
then
here
when you
though? That's from the window to the wall. Oh, I can't wait to hear that one.
from the
Right,
window to
right.
the wall.
Straight
I know
Atlanta,
how
right
to
there.
show.
That's the ATL for sure.
Yes. All right, Dr. Woody, go ahead and get started. When she gets in, I'll just add her to the stream. We want to hear from you.
Lord. So I battled with this thing. I'm gonna start there. Because Vic, I can tell some stories, but I know the saints might be listening in. So I said, let me be mindful of my Kojic brethren and sisterin in choosing a story.
Okay.
So I chose the title From the Window to the Wall, one, because that song played the entire night of this experience, which is a whole nother story in and of itself. But because it just seems like things happen from the window to the wall. So this story actually crosses two HBCUs.
Okay.
It crossed county lines.
Oh.
So, in HBCUs, one thing that we do is road trip. We road trip. Everybody can, talk about a time where they went to FAM or went to Howard or went somewhere to road trip. I think I backslid. I went to Fort Valley State on a road trip. You laughing because it's already jacked up. So one of my sisters from down there calls and says, hey, I'm also in this organization. We bringing some girls out. Why don't y'all come on? I said, Lord Jesus. Now, to give you guys an idea of the organization, it's two sweetheart organizations that had a probate at the same time.
Okay.
I ain't going to say which ones. You'll probably know by the end of the story. So we packed the car up. We say, yeah, we're going down 75. We're going to Fort Valley, as the people call it. We're going to Fort Valley to this probate to see the old gold probate. That's what they were calling it, the old gold probate. Did they give you any more clue about these people?
The old gold. Okay.
The old gold probate. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, your people. So we go down. We're driving it. Me, some of my homegirls, we caravanning. We going down for the old gold probate. We get down there, we can't find the probate. On the way to finding the probate, we get one person that get locked up by campus police. That's one car gone. 7-car probate. Yeah. Apparently, Fort Valley, for anybody who doesn't know, Fort Valley is a small town. The university is the town. It's located at 1005 State University Drive. Everybody know that address because it's the only thing in Fort Valley that matters. So apparently, we couldn't find the probate. It was in the old gym. We don't know the difference from the old gym and the new gym. It's Fort Valley. Both their gyms look the same. So a member of a particular organization decides to ask police for help. And between asking police for help, police end up carrying him away. We still don't know what happened.
What?
We still don't know what happened. And the reason we don't know what happened is because he had a couple of stories of how he ended up in the back of that man's car. Now, I still don't know. I don't know nobody else that know, but he gave us 2-3 stories how he ended up in that man's car. Neither here nor there. We're going to keep on going because we done came for the old gold probate. We finally find the old gym. Jesus Christ. We finally find the old gym. It's an old gym, too. It looks kind of like a barn.
Okay.
If anybody has ever been to a probate show for any Pan-Hellenic organization, it don't even have to be HNPHC. It could be any. It can be a little ethnic, a little loud. We 6 cars in, 1 car gone. He locked up. Jesus. So we get into the little probate or whatever. Everything's going fine. One organization come out, show their gifts to the world. Another organization come out, show their gifts to the world. The DJ plays From the Window to the Wall. This is the first time we hear this song tonight now. It happens a couple more times. It seems like every time that song came on, something happened. So the DJ plays From the Window to the Wall. What do y'all think happens when you hear that song? Anybody chime in? Lord have mercy. So a member of a Pan-Hellenic organization that rode down there with me takes a girl, puts her on the shoulders. Y'all already know what organization this is. I ain't even got to tell you. Just by the action. Puts the girl on the shoulders. Girl go out the window.
What?
Literally?
Girl went out the window.
Hold on, what happened?
So the way this gym is set up, like it had like some windows, some of them had bars, some of them didn't. I told you like a barn. So he got the girl up there. He dancing, she dancing while she up there. They wasn't too far from me. I hear crash, 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 crash. The girl go through the window. So this is now a whole incident at these people's universities. Now I'm trying to be bougie because I went to Clark Atlanta. I'm not like these people. I don't go to Fort Valley. I go to a private HBCU. So I'm trying to be bougie. I'm like, I ain't like these public people. It's a land grant school. I ain't like them, you know, because Clark tell you to be a little bougie. So the girl goes through the window. Of course, they gonna keep partying. They gonna keep probate. They don't care if this girl just went out the window. So probate starts. They doing their presentations, whatever. Anybody who's ever been to a probate, no presentation take a little time, depending.
Wait. Woody, you gotta say what a probate is for those who may not know.
All right. So a probate, also known as a neophyte presentation, is a celebration or an instance in which a particular organization presents the new members of their organization to the public, as those individuals may have been hidden for quite some time. So they introduce themselves, sing, chant, step, and celebrate their entrance into Greekdom. Did I do a good job?
You did. Yeah, you did a very good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good job.
So that's
like
what
a commercial.
Probate. Girl, you know the English degree working, baby. So here goes the wall. The people do their presentation of their neos. Hey, she's back.
She's back.
And she's back. Just so sorry. No, I'm still going, child.
Oh, okay, good.
So, boy puts the girl through the window. The party continues, probate continues, what have you. Now he got to go sit in the folks' jail because now he got to explain to them how the girl went in the window. We down another car, 5 cars.
Okay.
Still, I don't remember a lot of this night for one reason or another. Whatever. I wasn't driving.
Mad Dog, MD 2020. That's why. But go ahead.
I was at Mr. Boston. I was young and stupid. I was at Mr. Boston.
Okay.
So we continue. Of course, the 2 new lines of people from rival sweetheart organizations. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to celebrate together. They start to stroll, what have you. This probate is the longest thing I've ever seen. It's like Aretha Franklin's funeral. It was so long. About 45 minutes in, because it's still going. It's a party and a probate in one. From the window to the wall, came back on. Why these girls get to fighting? They got to fight. All of them. They throwing hands. The men trying to separate them. The men getting beat up. So one of these organizations, women.
One of them. Okay.
Girthy, big girls. I know they played football for Fort Valley. I know they did. They throwing them other girls towards and forward. Oh my God. The men trying to break them up. They can't stop them. These are some large, healthy chicken chasing women.
I can't stand you.
Oh, that's some biggins.
Oh, he said biggins.
That's some biggins. G-I-G-G-U-N-S.
Why they gotta be chicken? Why they gotta be chicken chasing?
Chicken chasing,
right? They take them chickens barefoot. Let me tell you. So, of course, University Police not far. They following us everywhere we go, apparently. So they come break it up, shut it down, what have you. We said, fine, we're going to head back up 75. This is not the place for us. We go to a private HBCU. This is beneath us. Because, you know, you got to think like that when you're young and stupid.
Yeah.
So we had, they tried to separate us. That's another story. They tried to separate us.
Yeah.
But we headed back up the road, whatever. We get to about Macon. So for anybody who does not know, the Atlanta University Center and Fort Valley State are about an hour and 40 minutes from each other, straight shot pretty much. We get to Macon, which is about 30, 40 minutes away from Fort Valley. We in the car. We get a phone call. one of my girls that rolled me, her sister attends Fort Valley. She said, y'all, this girl just tried to kick in my door trying to fight. What we got to do? Turn around. We got to go turn around because the sister finna get jumped on. So we turn around, we headed back. What come on the radio, y'all?
From the window to the wall.
From the window to the wall. At this point, I think Lil John gotta die. Lil John gotta die. Y'all, we get down there. It was probably the second most ethnic thing I've ever done on an HBCU campus. The first, I tried to fight a girl pregnant because she was disrespecting my doggone professor, but that's another story. We down there. I'm talking about it's weave ponytails. This 2003, 2004. You know they had the little weave ponytails everywhere. It's ridiculous. So somebody comes out. I'm calling the police. Now we done had our fill of these people for the evening. We run. We go to the car. I'm driving. I don't know how I ended up driving. These people died Stratus, but I'm driving. I hear whoop whoop. I say, God, the police have followed us again. And mind you, I've never been in the back of a police car in my life. I don't know how I evaded it this night. I ended up leaving them folks university with a $250 ticket for speeding, which I don't think I was speeding, but I think they gave it to me because they were sick of us for the evening.
Yeah.
But that's the most that I can remember from that story. It was a lot going on. It was a lot. But I do recall, and me and my friends still talk about it, we never want to hear that song again.
Woody, I was just thinking, anytime you hear that song, you should just start shivering.
I'm triggered. That's what I said. I know the name of this story because every time it came on, something stupid happened. So Little John is not my friend. I can't mess with him. I don't hear the song. I don't play it at events. Nothing. And I still don't remember so much. And the dude still can't tell us a straight up story about how he went to ask for directions and ended up in the back of the car.
From the window to the wall.
From the window to the wall. Everything happened that night. It's some stuff I don't even want to tell y'all because y'all be ashamed of me. Y'all won't be proud of me no more.
So let me ask you this. Was that song brand new at the time? Was it brand new?
Yes.
It was popping, yeah.
This was 03, 04. That thing was brand new.
Because again, it's got a lot of energy behind it, so I can just imagine. Wow.
Every time it came on.
Thank you, Woody. Thank you, Dr. Woody, from the window to the wall.
He got something to say about 03, 04. What's wrong with 03, 04?
No, I'm old as hell. If you can't
she told us she was younger than us. I was like,
I am a whopping 37 years old.
Oh my God.
I told you she was the baby.
Yeah. She is the baby.
She the baby.
Yes.
She making me know I got grades for sure.
Hey, Kano, when we used to work together, when we were working together in Atlanta, sometimes I would tell Woody, girl, you just a baby. What you talking about? You ain't nothing but a baby. You just a baby.
They still
you're just a baby.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Woody. Thank you very much. I sure appreciate that. I ain't gonna stop saying it because I'm proud of you. I am. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, you were there before it was there.
That's right. That's right. I'm proud of you. So, all right. Thank you. For those of you who are still with us, and hopefully you are, any questions that you have for Dr. Woody, you can go ahead and put that in there. We all, I think, will have a different appreciation of for that particular song.
Don't play it. Please don't play it.
If I didn't think they would cut this off, I would love to play it. Oh my God. So anything I want to ask Dr. Woody, go ahead and do that. Put that in the chat. And anything that you want to know, particularly about Clark Atlanta University and going to school in Atlanta, go ahead and put it in the chat, and maybe she can answer some of those questions as we move forward. Let's do a quick trivia question. I do have some trivia, and I do have some gifts. I'm looking to make sure that they're what they. Can you put them on your side for me, please? And let me have my tablet.
What's up, Siwa?
All right. Here we go. First trivia question, and this is for anybody, so you can be on the panel or in the chat. Here is the first trivia question. Hold on one second. Let me get ready. And the first trivia question is, what famous person... No, I don't want to go with that one. Let's go
Oh,
with this one. Let's go with this one. Woody, you can't answer this one. Which HBCU is named for John D. Rockefeller's wife? Anybody got an answer?
I do.
I do.
You got an answer?
Yes.
Okay, I heard Coach D first. Wait a minute. Are you hold on. Nobody should be using their computer to get answers. Are you using your computer?
I was getting ready to say.
You can't be Googling. You Googled, didn't you? You look guilty. You just look guilty.
But I didn't use my computer, so I ain't gonna answer.
Oh my God.
See, at least I'm honest.
This is the issue with the internet. Kano, did you Google?
No.
Of course he's gonna say no.
Yeah. I already confessed.
What's the answer? What's the answer, Kano?
It's Mission College. School days. Doing the butt.
See?
No,
Yeah, no.
I didn't have
You know.
So I did. Because school days changed my life. I just wanted to get in. It was an HBCU.
I got some questions about that too.
About school days? Oh, yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, here is the answer, and that was from Miss Portia McIntosh. Let's hear from Miss Portia McIntosh.
Portia, what's happening, Portia?
The answer is Spelman, which is quite interesting because I'm sure a lot of us did not know that Spelman was named after a white woman. But that's another conversation.
Yeah.
Portia, I'm about to tell you what you have won. You have won something that every HBCU student knows about and relishes with their life, and that is
A meal plan card.
I was getting ready to say this.
Right?
this can of Star-Kissed tuna.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Because you cannot make it through any semester at an HBCU without at least your own cans of tuna.
Oh, y'all.
All right, Portia, this is for you.
Vicky, that was your sister. Y'all relationship gonna be rocky after this.
Portia, I'm sending you this. Matter of fact, you can come by the store and pick it up. I got this for you. This is for you, Portia. All right, this is for you. All right, listen. Please share the stream if you have not. I know that she's gonna be happy. She said, "Hey, Kano."
What's going on? What's happening, Portia? Was good.
All right. So Portia is the winner for our first trivia question. Moving right along to our second story. And our second story is coming tonight from Miss Nikki from Winston-Salem State University. Come on, Nikki, take it away, my dear. Take it away. Tell us what you got.
Okay, so first I have to certify my story because
All right.
I didn't go away to school. I grew up in Winston-Salem. It's my hometown. So my grandfather was the first graduate in our family. He was the first one to go to college. He was the first one to get a master's degree. And he went to Winston-Salem State. And so we kind of all followed along. Now, when I was in high school, I did look at other schools because I wanted to get away from home. My daddy was like, no, you gonna go right over there to Winston-Salem State. You gonna get your degree and you gonna get a job. So because I was I was back and forth from campus. I didn't stay on campus, but I met the greatest people my first year. I met about 10 people. And we stayed close the whole 4 years, and they stayed on campus. So they gave me my campus experience. Like, now, two of my friends, they had a suite but it was only two of them. So they had an extra bed. I brought over some sheets and a comforter. They used to let me in. So I was like their unofficial third roommate, you know.
Right, 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 right.
We kept it from the RA. So so I had to, because I didn't stay on campus. I was on campus all the time though, day and night. But because I didn't live on campus, I had to come up with my own adventures. So so the one adventure that I remember was the 1989 riot at Virginia Beach. And what happened was one of my friends, she had just gotten a car, because you know in your freshman year you couldn't bring a car, so her second year she brought a car. Now I had a car, but my car wasn't big enough for area. It's like 5 or 6 of us, so we had to take her car. So we go to Virginia Beach doing it was like the Greek fest. It was like the Virginia version of Freaknik. So we go there, and that night I stayed at the hotel with one of my friends, and our other friends went to the beach. They just went down to the beach to see what was going on. Like an hour later, they came rushing back, and they were like, "Come on, get in the car, get in the car." They rioting. I'm like, why am I running to get in the car if they rioting?
Right.
So we get to the beach, and it's just like chaos. It's just, you know, it's just crazy. So people running everywhere, and you know, we staying together and everything. But that's not the adventure. The adventure was, so the next day, because of all of this, they were kind of making everybody leave. They were like, "Okay, y'all gotta go," you know, because we had they had torn up, you know, the beach. So they were making people leave, like, "Y'all gotta go." So the next morning, we had to check out of the hotel. So we all get in my friend's car, pack up and everything. She turns the key, and the key does not start. Now, we are 6 hours away, maybe 5 and some change from our campus. My parents didn't know. They just thought I was staying on campus. My parents did not know I was in Virginia. Her family did. Nobody's family knew we were in Virginia. We were all on campus. Because, you know, when you're on campus, you know, you just don't keep, you know, you're in another world. Nobody knew that we were in Virginia. So we like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So everybody, I was like, I'm not calling I said, not calling my father. My father would have tore up Virginia again. So I'm like, I'm not calling my dad. She didn't want to call her father, but she had to. Other friends, we had 3 other friends. 2 of them were twin sisters, and then it was another friend of ours. The twins' family drove to Virginia to pick them up in a big camper. They would not take me and my friend with us. They only took our other friend because she lived close by in their hometown. They wouldn't take us. They left 2 young women stranded in Virginia. And I'm looking at her like, so she had to get her car towed to, she had to get it towed to a garage. The garage tow truck person dropped us off at a bus station. Back then, you could write a check. So I had a job, so I had my checkbook with me. You know, they say God watches out for who? Babies and fools.
And ignorant folk.
So he was watching out for this fool, because I was like, what are we going to do? She didn't have enough money. So I had to write the check enough for me and her ticket. And so that was an adventure for us riding the bus. And you know, back then, when you ride in the bus, you stop along it took us forever to get back. It took us forever. So we got back that night, and we had a friend of ours, because I left my car on campus.
Wow.
I left my car on campus. We had a friend of ours come pick us up and take us back to campus. And that's how that was my adventure from the riots of 1989 in Virginia Beach. I had my own riot, because I could not believe I was stuck in Virginia.
Wow.
Stuck in Virginia.
Wow. That is I'm surprised they left y'all there. I'm really surprised about that.
And
That would have been the next riot.
yeah,
Because if I can't get home, you can't
Slash them
I
tires.
would
You
throw
should
all
have
they
just slashed the tires.
Exactly.
Just slash the tires. They ain't going home either.
We
but
stuck.
what was crazy was that one of the twins was my friend's sweet mate. Because this was like the second or third year. By this time, I couldn't, she got some sweet mates, and her original roommate moved off campus. And so I could not believe and they had a camper. When I say there was enough room for us, I said I cannot believe I would have never left two girls. Not two girls. I would have never left two girls in a strange state
Land.
in
Yeah.
city. Right. But I
Yeah.
guess they say, well, y'all was grown enough to get up here. Y'all will be
Y'all
grown
grown
enough to get back.
to get
So
back.
and my parents probably, God rest their souls, they didn't know to this day.
I was gonna ask my next question. That was my next question. They never found out, Nikki.
They
Really?
never told. Now they up in heaven now looking at me shaking their head. They
Wow.
and see, my dad was a deacon.
Uh-huh.
So I got other stories. I was always either in the next state. I couldn't go that far, but I was either in the next state or outside of the city limits. So we used to go to Charlotte, which is like an hour and a half away, on a Saturday night, because everything good happened on Saturday night. But you best believe I was in church on Sunday morning, and I was telling my friend I would get home at the crack of dawn. I would take a shower, go to sleep for an hour, but I would be in church because you ain't gonna hear that from my daddy. So it was the back pew, but I was there. I was in the back pew.
Wow. The reason that when I think about that, the fact that they left y'all, the reason that is so wild to me is because my experience at HBCUs, and I'm saying two because I went to two, is really different. So, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna touch on that when I tell my story at the end. But everybody is so connected. Yeah, I don't want to say close because everybody not close, but it's almost as if, when people are in a situation where there's the possibility of danger, people get close. Like for instance, I'm sure that you have talked to more of your neighbors during the pandemic than you ever have. If something happens, and I think that for the most part, as Black people, we are pretty much in the way of danger most of the time. So when you get on that college campus and everybody looks like you, and do the same things you do and eat the same kind of food you do, so you know their family, you begin to know their family, and so that's why it's so odd to me that they would leave you there, because typically we pull together on HBCU campuses.
We were floored. I mean, I could not believe there is no way that I have two daughters, and when they go out with their friends, if I'm picking them up and their friends' family is not there, I'm like, come get in the car and wait, until your people get here, or do I need to take you home, or what's going on?
Right.
And people say, well, the world is different now. No, the world is not different. It's just video now.
Yeah.
So it's easy access to it. The world back then was still dangerous. We, as babies and fools, didn't know, or didn't care. These young people think that they cornered the market on YOLO. You only live once, honey. We was doing that way back in the day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We was doing that way back in the day.
Absolutely.
So
shame on them. I'm mad at them still. Shame on them.
I want to know how the relationship was when y'all got back with the roommates.
It was chilly. It was real chilly. She was mad as fire. They didn't talk for a while because she was like, you didn't even go to bat for us. It was like, can you even just take us back to North Carolina and let us, you know what I'm saying? Just take us back to your town. We'll get a bus up to.
Shame on them.
Yeah, I don't
That's a
get that at all.
shame.
Hmm. But I wouldn't have that story.
No, no,
Right.
no, you
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't have
No,
that
you
Right.
story.
wouldn't. And anybody that has a question for Nikki in the chat, you are welcome to ask your question or any comments. I forgot to tell you the name of her story. The name of her story was A Legacy Continued, because she just said earlier that her father was also an that was also his alma mater. So that was the name of her story, A Legacy Continued. All right,
That's awesome.
thank you, Nikki. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And again, Nikki is from Winston-Salem State University. All right. Okay, so let's do one more trivia question for right now, and then we'll go on to the next story. And that next story will be, the next person you'll hear is Mr. Kano Phillips after we do this trivia. So the trivia is, who directed at least 80% of the Different World television show episodes?
Oh,
Who directed? All right, I saw Kano Phillips' hand go up. Kano, what is your answer?
oh, Debbie
Mama?
Allen.
Absolutely.
Debbie Allen. That's right,
Yep.
Debbie Allen. At least 80%. And who? Let me just add this. This is not a question, but we'll add it. And who did the other 20%? Anybody know?
I'm not sure.
Anyone in the
Directed?
chat?
Directed.
Yeah, directed. Directed.
I'm not
Okay,
sure.
the same person who directed the first 20% was the same person who created the
Cosby.
show.
Bill
So
Cosby?
that was Dr. William Cosby.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, Cosby.
Hats off to Dr. William Cosby. I don't care what they say about him. He taught us some stuff that we couldn't have learned elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Opened the black community. He made it. Yeah, exactly. Tracy said Cosby. Yes, he made it possible for us to know as much about, I think, HBCUs that we did. Some
Absolutely.
of us, if you didn't live in the area where they were, yeah, and I'm from the Midwest. Kano's from the Midwest. So is De Niro. There aren't a lot of black colleges around here and universities, right? So if you didn't live in the hotbed where they were, you wouldn't have known much about them. But when he got on that show and just wore his sweatshirts, it made you ask questions,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then so much that he taught us outside of that, and then spent off into a different world and created a different world, which really opened me up and made me want to go to a black university.
Yeah.
Spike Lee already,
That,
yeah,
For school days, yeah.
opened me up, right?
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
different world shit, I would watch that. I think I watched every episode at least 20 times and act like I never saw it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yes.
I read
It was
something
a
the other
real
day.
college. I mean,
Yeah.
it had that real college feel to it.
That's right.
Hey, you
Yeah.
can tell me Helmet wasn't.
Yeah, wasn't real.
It wasn't real.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Or Mission College. You know. You could exactly. We thought that shit was real, and it was real. It was real. It was the best representation of an HBCU you could ever see on a television, I think.
It
So,
was.
hats off to Dr. Bill Cosby.
Fun
BJ
fact, Nikki.
I'm ready for it.
Fun fact. Actually, School Days was shot on the campus of the Clark Atlanta University.
I thought it was Spelman. Really? I knew it was down there in the cut, though.
And Spike actually was at Morehouse and took all his film classes at Clark.
Is that right?
Okay.
He showed
Did he
out.
go to Howard too?
He showed out.
He didn't go to
That's
Howard.
Not that I know of, but I know he was at Morehouse and took his film
Oh
classes.
no, did he
at
go?
Clark.
Did he end up at NYU
Wow.
after, or was that his
Probably.
mom or grandma? Somebody. Anyway, NYU something. Oh, he teaches there now.
Well, hats off to those brothers and that sister who lit it up for us, who lit it up. Period. DJ said, "Yuck." I guess that's about Bill Cosby. Is that about Bill Cosby, DJ? All right. Next on the docket is Mr. Kano Phillips, and he is hailing from the Grambling State University. Oh, prize! Zoe said I didn't give him the prize. I did not give him the prize, and I'm not only
Yeah,
going to
I'm
give
scared of
you.
your prizes, Vicky. You giving out two
Right.
again.
You
Yeah,
giving out tuna.
I'm giving out stuff that you you need and you use as college students.
Hold on, my brother, stop laughing.
I didn't use
You
them. I used my friend's
You
bill
giving,
plan
you giving
card.
out struggle food.
So
My bad, Kato. My bad.
no,
exactly, struggle food. Yeah.
are you ready?
Food out.
Are you ready for your gift?
My bad,
That is the
Kato.
question.
Yes, ma'am. I am.
Da 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 da.
What is it?
Don't play.
Rolling papers.
You know what? Let me get around my donkey.
All right, that's a good one. That's a good one.
The old school ones. The old
that
school
top?
rolling
Is that
papers.
Oh my God.
One and
Yeah,
a
that's the
quarter.
one. That's
One
a
and a
good one.
quarter. Not one and a quarter. Little more room for you. This is for you, Kano Phillips.
Nikki, you know my mama. You gonna go ahead and hit me with that?
Don't show her this video.
Hey, dog. Hey, no snitch rule is in effect. This video stays between us, right? Between us and my new HBCU family on here. So
She telling all your business.
I got
All
you.
of it.
I know. They showed up the zigzags. Yeah.
Hold on, I can't hear you, Zoe. What's your question?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's nothing, as we all know, there's nothing like the HBCU experience. I cannot
Nothing.
wait. School
Nothing.
days that changed my life. School days hit, it wasn't nothing in the world was gonna go ahead and tell me that someone got it on the chat. Does Mr. Phillips know former Miss Graham State University? Yeah. She and I were the Royal Court together down there. So we were crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, we were both court. Yeah, we were both Royal Court. We used to walk hand in hand.
well, there you go.
Yeah, that might have been good. It might have been bad, but that's another chapter, another book. But yeah. So I hope I didn't
All
go wrong with Cincinnati. But no, but the
So,
reality is,
Mr. Phillips, name of your song, your name of your story is. You remember that damn mascot?
yeah, I like that kind of. Hey, stop laughing, bro. Wait till you got the story yet. You always blowing me up.
I'm ready. Take it away.
Thing to it was, going down to Grambling, I wanted to go ahead and go down there for two things. Number one, I wanted to be in the band. And I also wanted to be on the baseball squad. And the humbling thing about going to this HBCU thing, everybody's a man in their own hood when you're at home. Everybody, you walk around, you're popular, everybody know you're here. You get down there, and you are nothing. You're at the bottom of the totem pole again. And I'm telling you, that's rough. I went from everyone knowing my name to everybody get two shits about who I was.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I'm trying to find my way. And so one thing that you know about our people is, they like you when you can dance. So I figured I might as well use what little gifts and attributes I had to try and get me a couple friends. So, and I was fortunate enough to go down there also with my brother and best friend, Charles Hopkins. If you aren't your brother, what's up? I know Vicky, you know him. But so as we got down there, I ended up going out for the mascot position. End up getting it. And the one thing about these mascots over at HBCU, they kind of get the royal treatment a little bit, which is the craziest thing ever. I mean, you sitting in you a clown sitting up in a suit, in this hot ass suit, in this hot ass weather down there, burning up. If y'all knew what I was down there, I was in that suit with drawers on a couple times. That's how hot it was. Drawers. I mean, it was fucking hot. That was crazy. Think about it. And I'm in hot ass Louisiana. It's 105 degrees on the heat index, and I got this hot ass suit on in there. I was sweating like a hostage in a badass situation. So yeah. So I'm sitting over here. So but now also too with this whole thing, my whole mentality, I kind of brought the yak with me, Vicky. I had something. I was short. I was still trying to go ahead and come into my own when it came to height. So I had something that we call short people call a Napoleon complex. I was still trying to go ahead and grow and get my growth spurt. I was unusually short. So so I had this little chip on my shoulder. So which meant every time I stepped on the field, if there was another mascot on the field, we had to battle. It had to go down. Only one of us gonna be the coldest on this field. So it didn't make a difference who the mascot was. We had to square it up and we get it in. So we start gigging, and a lot of times those battles got a little extra heated. So sometimes we'll break out in a little bit of an altercation. Which anyone go to HBCU, you probably seen a couple of those in your day and time. But if you came to a Grambling game, You almost had to expect that at almost every game because, sometimes I might have took it a little too far. I got beside myself. Hey, it'd be like that sometimes. So all that taken, let's go fast forward to my second year. So my second year, I did this mascot thing. It's 2 years. Second year got to it. We started out our first game. Our second game of the year is against North Carolina A&T. So now keep this in mind. Only a HBCU would have a team from Louisiana play a team from North Carolina, and we would go down to Dallas, Texas to play at the Cotton Bowl. Only we would do something like that. We couldn't use a stadium in Louisiana, but we couldn't use a stadium also in North Carolina. So anyway, we get there. Now let me set this up. The game before that, we played the Independence. So I got in trouble because they said the president of the university called me in and told me that I got to go in front of the disciplinary board because I was dancing a little sexually suggestive too much in
Oh.
the street. So now I'm on that warning. So now I got the president of the university called me in and told me and gave me this warning. So now let's go to the Cotton Bowl. So now I'm going to the North Carolina AT&T mascot there. This dude is about 6'8", and he's wearing his big ass bulldog suit. Now keep in mind, this suit was not built for a 6-footer because the dude got the suit on and he's sweating. I mean, so it's like the bottom of the pants is going up to his knees. And so I'm like, oh, I got to get this sucker. So anyways, so I go to battle him. He wouldn't battle me. He wouldn't come out. So after halftime, I decided to go to the audience. Now I always grab a kid out the crowd. So I got the kid on my shoulders. I like to go ahead and dance with him on my shoulders. The crowd likes it. This big ass dude decides he wants to go ahead and come and push me in the back. And so I almost dropped the kid. So after I made sure the kid, so I fall on the ground and I put the kid on my chest. And now I'm pissed. So now I told you I had a Napoleon complex, so we got to fight now. So I didn't jump up and I gave him about a 10-piece in a biscuit. Fire him up. The crowd is going crazy. He's going nuts. So we got like two damn fools, and he's there in these clown outfits and these mascot suits over there fighting. And so then the dude pops his head, so he pops his head off. He pulls it off. He's like, I can't believe this dude just swung on me like that. So then I went to go scoop him up. Then they break it up. And so now, of course, that next Monday, I get a call. I go to my class, and there's someone comes down from the police station, from the campus police station, saying, your presence is requested over at the president's office. So next thing you know, they take me down to the president and the vice president, and they're both in the office together. And they told me that basically they're about to suspend me. Not only did they suspend me from school, not only were they going to suspend me from the mascot, but they're going to suspend me from school. So now I got to go in front of this full disciplinary board to keep my education. So news get out on campus. Now, the people, now I love my grandma people, but they didn't give a shit about the fact I'm about to lose my education. They cared about the fact I'm getting kicked out that damn hot ass suit. So they decided to go ahead and protest. Literally, they put up a protest, and the two girls decided to go ahead and get a petition. They got 89% of the student body to sign this petition. They called the newspaper. They called the TV station. Everybody came to the Capitol building. It's called Long Jones Hall. So now you got all these people migrating outside this, not for my education, because they want to see me back in that suit. So now the whole thing goes on. It hits the press. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's trying to go in and fight to get me back in. They trying to fight to get me back in the suit. I'm trying to fight to keep my education. I could not think about trying to bring that car back home and tell my mama, oh, by the way, her son has lost her grandma in education because he had to go ahead and do something like dirty dancing on somebody's mama, and sitting over there fighting. So finally, everything comes into fruition. After 3 weeks, I get the mascot suit back, and also too, they decided to let me stay. They let me go ahead and keep my education. So I felt so grateful to the student body I had this little high yellow girlfriend of mine whom I know had my nose wide open. So she's sitting over there telling me, well, baby, you know, you got to do something real special. The people fought so hard for you to go ahead and get your suit back. You got to do something super special. What you gonna do? It got to be something that no one's ever seen before. So anybody from Grambling can understand what I'm about to say. Grambling, when they built their football stadium, they built it down in the valley, which means, anytime it rains real tough, it becomes a water bowl because it don't got proper drainage. Anyway, it goes, it sits down. It sits down in the bottom of a 20-story hill. 20 stories. Keep that in mind. 20 stories. So I'm thinking, well, man, over the 2 years, I've done almost everything I could think to do. I done jumped off goalposts. I done rolled down bleachers. I done flipped off everything. So I'm like, what can I go ahead and do for a big interest to go and thank people? So I came up with the bright idea that I'm going to go ahead and go to the top of this hill, and I'm gonna get to the top, make sure everyone sees me, raise my hands, so the whole stadium will go ahead and see me, and I decided to roll down this hill, not on my side, but head first like a dumbass. So it looked like a good idea, so I started rolling. First roll, second roll, and I'm like, okay, this is manageable. All of a sudden, I started taking off and rotating, and by the time by the time I got maybe a fourth way down the hill, now I'm in all prayer mode. Look, I haven't been to church in about 20 years, but I got real religious. I'm like, oh my God, Lord, please help me, Jesus, Lord, don't let me die. I mean, I'm rolling and I can't stop. And I don't know what to do to stop.
Oh my
I'm
God.
rolling, get to the bottom of the hill, and then finally I stopped because I got to the bottom. I started to stand up, and of course my dumb ass fell down because I'm dizzy. So I fell down, so now I got two cheerleaders that had to come help me up. And the crowd's going nuts on this. And so I'm thinking, all right, cool, it's a great start. I hope they appreciate it because damn, I almost died for it. Halftime show. Now we're playing against Alabama State University. So their mascot is a bumblebee. Bumblebee had on this big ass suit with black pantyhose on. A dude with black pantyhose and a big old gigantic ass bumblebee. So halftime starts, we're performing. I go to challenge the guy. And the guy wouldn't come out and challenge me. So I go back in front of the band, I'm dancing with the band. And when I went down the hill, I broke the chin strap of the head. So as I'm dancing, the head, you look outside the mouth, that's how you see. As I'm dancing, the head twists sideways. So now I'm looking at the side of the head. So now I'm just doing a basic little bop trying to get my head straight. The crowd starts going crazy. They're screaming to the top of their lungs. I'm like, damn, what the hell are they screaming for? I ain't doing nothing but Rocky. I said, oh shit. I bet I know what it is. I turned around, the head still twisted. I turned around, this dude didn't tackle me. He done came and hit me. The head fell off my suit. The head started rolling down the hill. Now I'm pissed. I get up, he didn't tackle me in front of if he didn't tackle me in front of it's about 25, 30,000 people here. Because, keep in mind, this is homecoming, by the way. This is our homecoming game. So, head rolls down the hill. Now, what made this game special is Coach Eddie Robinson is the most winningest coach in football history, in NCAA history. They thought this was his last homecoming. So, ESPN showed up for this game. So, keep this in mind. I done got my head knocked off in front of ESPN. So, I got pissed, started chasing the guy down, tackle him. Dude falls down. We're at the goalpost, and the guy starts screaming, okay, I'm sorry, I quit. I'm about to beat his ass. So he had on pantyhose. So I took his leg and put it up on top of my shoulders and started violating him like he was yeah. It was not becoming of a man to do to another man.
On homecoming, at homecoming.
Yeah, it's on homecoming.
What ESPN there?
ESPN.
Yeah. See, I didn't know about that, but this year becomes real messed up in Pontiac. So the crowd goes nuts. Now, Now this is a historic moment. Now, if you can ask anyone from Grambling that went to Grambling between '89 and '94, they'll tell you about this story. So I get back to my dorm room. Back you had those old school answering services, the one with the little light that beep, and you had to get the message. It's a message from my father. My father said, my father don't say it. Vicky knows my family. We real Afrocentric, so we don't say the N word. But his voicemail said, "Nigga, you better call my ass immediately." Come from my father. That's what we need. I'm like, damn, well, what I do? I pick up the phone, call, said, "Pop." I said, "What's going on?" Like that. He said, and he starts going in. So y'all everybody in TV land, part of my French. He said, "Mother effer, I send you down here all the way to Louisiana to get your education. I send you down here to go ahead and represent, you representing this family when you go out of town. And you go down there and act like an MF fool." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "How is it that I'm sitting over here minding my own business, drinking my glass of wine, enjoying spending time with my wife, and I get a phone call from Coach Cy Green, which is one of his best friends, Vicky."
Yeah.
Called him up and said, "How is it excited? Coach Green called me up and tell me, Clarence, I don't know how to tell you this, but you need to turn on ESPN because it's something I think you need to see." So you remember with ESPN, and I know you know this, my brother. ESPN does a loop every hour. They play the same thing
over and over.
Over and over. So I told he goes to ESPN. He said, so I turn on ESPN. I wait, they show Gramblin's homecoming. I'm thinking I'm gonna see the band, I'm gonna look at some pleasant sights, and I look up and I see your dumb ass getting tackled and your kid rolling down the field, and I see you on top of some damn bumblebee for humping them. What kind of shit is this? And I'm like,
my God.
Dude is pissed. And so I'm like, "Well, Pop," he said, "Motherfucker, get off my phone." And he hangs up on me. I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, well, now I'm down here in Louisiana. Wow. I'm scared because homecoming is right before Thanksgiving. And I was thinking about coming home, but shit, not no more. Not no more. So I called my mama up. Vicky, I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and get my, mama gonna throw me a bone. She's like, she's like, "Kano, what the hell?" My mama don't even cuss. She said,
Right.
What the hell do you want me to do? I'm not getting in between. They said that was some ignorant shit. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, my mama was cussing me out. I'm like, I don't got nobody now. But that story right there is legendary. If someone looked really hard, I'm very sure y'all could probably find that footage somewhere.
I'm gonna go look.
I'm curious about to pull it up.
You better know before I go to bed. I'm looking for that shit. I'm looking for that shit. Wow. That is legendary. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's mine.
Zion has said earlier, she said, "I hope you guys talk about the homecomings. I heard they are the bomb." Well, Zion, there's a homecoming story for your ass. That is a homecoming story.
You better ask my mom about that. You better let it go. Let it go. Don't bring that up.
What year was it? I'm so gonna find it.
Oh my God. Wow. Thank you for that. Mr. Phillips, Mr. Cato Phillips. Oh my God.
What year was that? 89 or 90?
Because inquired minds want to know.
Right. No, it happened in 1991, that year.
91, okay.
Wow.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Woo! Right there. That right there. All right. So take a moment, please, and share the feed if you have not done that. If you are looking on, pick up the link and share it with somebody whether it's on some of your social or one of your social media platforms. I would appreciate it. We would appreciate it. Also, if you know any youth between the ages of 16 and 25 who might be considering going to college, invite them over to hear a couple of these stories because we want to be able to steer them in the right direction if they are considering college or university. We want them to go to the HBCU, period.
Vicky,
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you, are you a HBCU snob?
No.
I am.
Yeah, I was like,
I
Period.
I am.
Period.
am.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Not at all.
I definitely am.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Completely and totally.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, really. Because, I mean, you got plenty of reason to be a snob. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, plenty of reason. So, we love our HBCUs. If you didn't know that, we love our HBCUs.
We do. We do.
So, one more trivia question, and then we'll move on to our last for this round, and that will be Coach D from Tennessee State University. But before we do that, here is another question for you. What is the name of the first private HBCU? What is the name of the first private HBCU? Do I hear crickets?
Like for real.
Say again? Oh, I'm sorry. What is the name of the first private HBCU? Anybody got an answer? I see you, De Niro. What you say?
I cheated.
Again?
You don't want me to answer?
What did you go ahead? Somebody said
I didn't go on the internet though. I promise I didn't go on the internet.
Somebody else got it. He cheated off the person.
This is arguable, but somebody else said Cheney University, and that is creative Crystal who said Cheney University.
That's what I was gonna say. 1837.
No.
My belief is that is arguable. I see Eric Boone shaking his head. Is Wilberforce University.
Really?
Wilberforce University, which was
you say that because you went there.
Right. Right. Which was originally created, my understanding, there are several WSU or Wilberforce University people on here too, so you all can correct me if I'm wrong.
But you said first private, right?
Private.
Yeah, so Cheney's public.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Look, that's the same.
Public, yeah.
Yes, Wilberforce is first private.
And Wilberforce University was actually created or created pretty much by the AME Church, which is very interesting, and we're proud of that. And we were always told, Eric can tell me if I'm wrong, or Tracy can tell me if I'm wrong. Some more y'all on here, DJ Shannon. We were always told that it was created for the children, the mulatto children of slave owners originally, because they weren't comfortable or weren't really accepted in black universities because they look white, and they weren't accepted in white universities because they look black. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? All right. Okay, so here we go. Moving right along to the next. Oh, so nobody answered it, did they?
Yes.
Who did? I mean, I gave it, but
Tracy said it first.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tracy, no, because she went there. But that's okay, Tracy, because you too have won a prize.
A paper food stamp. Because you batting a 0 right now with these prizes.
No HBCU student can really say that he or she is an HBCU student if they do not eat on a regular basis ramen noodles. This is where
There we go. Absolutely.
Now that is legitimate. That's way more legitimate than that Summerfish thing.
We ate so many ramen noodles, honest to God. We ate so many ramen noodles that by the time I got home, the smell of that sauce would make my stomach turn. That's how many ramen noodles we ate. But Tracy, I don't have just any ramen noodles for you. You, my dear, you get to choose which ones you want. We didn't have creamy chicken flavor.
Nope.
Creamy chicken flavor.
Chicken, beef, pork, shrimp.
That's it.
And we didn't have soy sauce flavor. Look, soy sauce flavor.
Salt for the salt.
And we didn't have
all of them.
Chili flavor. So Tracy, you are the winner of one of these, but you only get one. But you're the winner of one of these. Just like as if you were a college student. You ain't gonna get full. You're just gonna get one. All right.
I have a noodle question,
Vicky. Can I try? Can I
Nope.
give them a big bag for the ramen noodles?
Well, you and Tracy can talk about that. Maybe. Maybe. What's your question, Tasha?
So for everybody on, because, you know, there were certain times of your academic school year where you were a little fancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Refund check, most specifically.
Specific.
Listen, did you ever try to fancy up your noodles and buy shrimp and stuff and throw it in there?
Absolutely.
Boy,
I didn't do that.
Hold on,
I throw some shrimp in there, some chicken.
Yep.
Ooh,
Spice them babies
I
up.
was so fancy. I was so fancy.
I know that's right. Kano said he can afford no shrimp. That must have been them little salad shrimp. The little salad shrimp.
Yeah. That was it.
My whole college career was a
Man,
bag
you
of
get three friends together.
and ramen noodles.
Y'all better.
Yeah.
You ain't had the right
I
friend.
had no
You ain't had the right
protein,
friend.
just all carbs.
Right. I didn't do that, but I would see people that would like put cheese and hot sauce, and I was like, "What in the world?" I didn't do that. It was already bad.
Like hot dogs.
I thought you said alcohol. I was getting ready to say in the ramen noodles.
He said hot dogs.
Yeah.
Look, Tracy's answer to you might be able to talk to Tracy, Kano, because she said she already on 3 blood pressure meds.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing but a bag of salt, right?
So you know. DJ said he never ate those. DJ said he never ate those. No, we know you never ate those. DJ was bougie as hell. Let me tell you what DJ ate. I know what he ate. Bougie ass. DJ ate. He ate. This was his meal. DJ ate Hawaiian punch and was it Mrs. Butterworth pancakes? He had a skillet in his room. No, he ain't supposed to have no skillet in there. Anytime DJ got hungry, he go upstairs and make some Miss Butterworth pancakes and drink Hawaiian punch. Now, is that bougie or what? Bougie ass. No, you didn't eat none of that. All right. So the next person on is Coach G from Tennessee State University, and the name of his story is My Fondest Memory. So Coach D, take it from here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, make sure I wasn't muted. Man, so obviously after listening, I got a whole bunch of flooded memories, but I got to go with my fondest memory. And it's this. And so Tennessee State University, obviously, it's a state school. And the first couple semesters, and even to my second year, it was a lot of crazy stuff going on. Things like we ain't got toilet paper in the hallway that we didn't pay for, right? And lights broken on the walkways and stuff like that. Now I'll get into my stories about my vision and all that, and some dark alleyways and all that. So anyway, long story short, a couple of females ended up getting accosted and raped on our campus. And this is during 1990s, late 89 into 1990, right? So long story short, it launched an outrage. I don't know if any of you guys follow Roland Martin, and if y'all watch
sometimes.
Well, Dr. Greg Carr is one of the constant guests on there. Anyway, his younger brother Jeff Carr was our student president. They launched an entire plan, and we literally took over our campus and had a shut-in, and it lasted for about 3 weeks. The most amazing time ever. We took over our administration building. And anybody who went to a state school, y'all know about them lines where you go to try to get your classes and you cussing out everybody. By the time you get to the last part of the registration, because either your financial aid ain't right, something happened, and you mad as hell because of the whole process. And all that to say was a lot of things that we were protesting. And so at any rate, it started off with us taking over the administration building. Now, Tennessee State had a campus, the main campus, which was on John A. Mary Boulevard, but then they also had a downtown campus. And obviously we would cross, depending on what your classes were, and those of us who failed a couple of classes, you know, we had to go to the other campus to make the classes up. But at any rate, we started off at the main campus. We took over the administration building. We took over several buildings. The funnest time we ever had. Now, it was a bunch of foolishness going on low key. But that ended up being a 2-week process. We not only took over the A building on the main campus and a couple of other buildings. I think we took over the business building. There were 3 buildings on campus, I'm pretty sure. And then we ended up taking over the downtown campus. That turned into a full-on media blitz. We went through a hunger strike, and I still have all of the different things on that. But out of that, one of the things they demanded was full amnesty for us. Because y'all know we wasn't doing no school at all for 3 weeks, right? So half of us we knew we was failing some classes. And so one of the things that we demanded out of that process was full amnesty. And the biggest thing was, and obviously prior to me getting there, I'm sure there was some things that was going on, but I got to the, you know, I got around where it's the pinnacle and everybody was upset and pissed off. It's like, we're not taking it no more. Yeah, and we literally took over that campus and accosted those buildings. And I mean, it's some amazing memories. I got like news footage and paper clippings. I got a scrapbook that I kept from that time. But that is by far the finest memory. It goes back to what you guys are saying about that connectivity that you feel on the campus, because it's nothing like that. And obviously, some of my closest friends to this day, you know, were a part of that. And we came together as a unit, you know, to fight some very basic needs. When I say toilet paper, things of that nature, we paid for that in our tuition. That we should have never ran out of toilet paper. You know what I mean? Or those girls should have never been raped in no dark alleys. Because, you know, obviously, you know how campuses are, or a state campus, you know, you go down the street, you in the neighborhood. And the outside of our campus was the hood. You know, and so Jefferson Avenue, and I'm saying it like y'all know Nashville like that. But yeah, so yeah, amazing times. And yeah, that was my fondest memory. I have several because I also was a band student. I don't know if I got enough time to tell one of my band stories, but you let me know if I don't.
I can give you more 2 more minutes.
Okay, so anyway, obviously, hats off to Mr. Sykes at Pontiac Central High School, who allowed me as a junior to get into the band. It was always kind of one of my dreams to be a drummer. And I was able to get in, and obviously out of that, I ended up going to Tennessee State, and I walked on to the band, and I was there my freshman year. And my man was talking about grounding. You know, we hated each other. We couldn't even compete. So when we went against y'all in '88, we had to meet y'all in Atlanta. We could not even go on campus. That's how much vitriol the schools had against each other. But some of the best times I had, and I'm telling you, they kicked our behinds. When I say a black man, it's like the military. And I mean the discipline, but the mad respect and love that I have for, you know, rest in peace, both our professors, Prof. Grave and Prof. Kirk. Actually, Prof. Kirk got murdered. That's a whole nother story. But at any rate, hands down, fondest memory with the band is just to travel. Once again, you had to be stepped to the T. Thank God we grew up in church, so I had suits with me, but we could not step on the buses without a shirt and tie on. And it just taught us so much about character and presentation and things of that nature. And we stepped on those buses doing what we had to do, and then we stepped on that field trying to kick booty. And so though two of my fondest memories is actually definitely setting and then being a part of the aristocrat of bands, must I say.
That's good.
Can I say something, Vicky? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
To Coach D's point, I think HBCUs prepare us to always present a certain way. Even when it comes to graduation, you're in your flesh tone pantyhose and everybody's in a white dress and, you know, just this stuff. So then when you go to grad school, or even when I did my master's at Georgia State, it was just a totally different experience. My program was about 40 people. 4 of us were Black, 1 from Clark, 2 from Spelman, 1 from Morehouse. The 4 of us, our everything was just totally different from those we were with. And that's not a knock to them. But as he was saying, like, that is the culture of what we get in the HBCU. You dress the part, you look the part, you speak the part, period. Like, there's an expectation of greatness that you just don't get everywhere.
That's true. I agree with that 100%. You said something earlier, Woody, and so did De Niro, that I wanted to touch on too, and that's real quickly. The opportunity, and I was telling my daughter this the other day. There's plenty opportunity when you go to an HBCU to travel, right?
Yes.
Now, you can travel, at another university, but this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, just like Kano was saying, he was preparing to go home. When you're at an HBCU, there is plenty of opportunity to go home with somebody who come from a similar background that you do.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
So plenty of opportunity. So if you have a friend who lives in California, but you're from Michigan, you oftentimes will have an opportunity to go to California for Thanksgiving as opposed to coming home, because your parents know that you've built a relationship with these people. They kind of feel like they know the person because you've talked so much about them, or so on and so forth. So when you say, "Can I go home?" with Carolyn, it's not such a big deal. They may hem and haw for a minute, but those opportunities present themselves in a way that you may not have if you go to a regular university, because your parents may not let you go home with people that don't share similar backgrounds, if that makes sense, right?
Yes.
So that's an opportunity that I want anybody, any youngin to understand. You have that opportunity to meet other people, to go to other places, to experience other people's side of the pond, outside of your own.
Can I say something quick, Vic? Last thing. So two things. 100% agree with that. My first Christmas, and you probably don't remember this, I brought two of my buddies home with me for Christmas. One who he got rest his soul, he's no longer with us, but we became really thick as thieves. And then it was another from my first roommate, believe it or not, from hell, because after we got back, a whole bunch of stuff choked off. But I brought them home because one had never been out the South, and the other one grew up poor in Chicago, and so that was that opportunity. I know the other thing I would say on that, in terms of just the draw to Tennessee State, it was a neighborhood guy I grew up with. We used to ride dirt bikes and stuff together. He actually followed my footsteps because I went to Tennessee State. He actually went, and also my sister, one of my cousins, decided to go to Tennessee State. And so the coolest part about Mr. Sykes is that the same year I went down, they came down. He literally brought the Central Band down to one of our games, and so that whole that opened up a whole idea for people to want to come down and visit the black school. And because I was there and I was a part of Central's band, and he knew I was there, so that was a cool experience too, going and talking to them and just telling them how college life was. And so
I bet. All right, thank you. So that wraps it up for our first round. So let me do this quick commercial break. It really ain't a commercial, but ta-da! If you cannot see this is Boone's Farm, otherwise known as University Kool-Aid. It's cheap, it's fruity, and it'll help you forget about exams for a moment. Which is why I'm drinking it today. No exams, but we're reminiscing. This is fuzzy navel. This one is fuzzy navel. And believe it or not, with this 2% alcohol, it don't get me like a little lit. Maybe because it's so damn cheap. It's 3%.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm thinking, it loosened me up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? A little bit.
That would be it.
That's it, because it's so damn cheap. All right, so yeah, and we've got halfway through. Let's see if we can finish it before he finishes here broadcast. All right, so we are moving on to the second. We're moving over to the second round. So I am going to pull. I think what I'm going to do, if you all can hang out, you can. If not, I'll go ahead and remove you. You can remove yourself, and I'll pull you out. But I think I can get more on here, and I got 2 more people waiting in the room right now. So I'm going to pull them in. We're going to look at this intro one more time, and as soon as the intro is over, it's about 2 minutes, we will start with our second round. Everybody cool with that?
No, I have some fun.
Yes.
Vicky, I appreciate you. Look, I appreciate all y'all having me.
We appreciate you, Kano.
Absolutely, Kano.
Yeah, that's right, man. Sykes, that's what I'm talking about. That's a great brother right there.
That's a mad respect.
Yeah,
mad respect for him.
A lot of lives. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And thank you, Kano.
I appreciate you giving that brother his roses while he can still smell them too, by letting people know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kano, for giving us. Look, thank you for giving me something to research tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what? Come on.
1991 homecoming.
We all family here. Y'all supposed to let those things go through one ear and out the other.
I love it. That was
I
awesome. That
appreciate
was
you, man. I
awesome.
promise. I promise.
Thank you, Kaden. I appreciate you.
All right, y'all. Hey, good seeing y'all. Talk to both of y'all soon over here.
Absolutely. You too. Talk to you soon.
And please tell your mom I said, hey, she may not remember me, but mad respect.
All right, we're going to hit this intro, and then we're back for the second round.
Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Ooh, come on and get this tea. Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Ooh, come on and get this tea. Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Ooh, come on and get this tea. Oh, you made it now, baby. You made it to 3T. Come on and get this tea. Ooh, come on and get this tea.
All right. Thank you for all of you who are here, and welcome back to our second round of I Heart My HBCU. Tracy, are you on? Are you coming in another stream?
No.
No,
backstage.
I see you in two. No, you're on here. Let me see. Let me do this. I think I know what's going on. Yep. So let me get rid of this person. You have this. It's your doppelganger. All right. Thank you, everybody who is here. We are going to continue with our second round of I Heart My HBCU. If you're just coming in, do us a favor, please like and share the stream. It helps us to build the audience, of course. This is twofold. This event is twofold. One, it's an opportunity for us to just kind of go back down memory lane and enjoy each other, right? Love on each other. That's the first thing. The second thing is to give, somebody's typing, I think. All right. The second thing is to give people an opportunity to know more about an HBCU if you're between the ages of 16 and 24, because sometimes they don't get enough information about HBCUs, I think. So this is our opportunity to kind of open up, our information or what we know, and to share with anyone who may be considering college and university at this time. Because if you look like me, then your best bet is an HBCU. I stand by that, and I'm sure these people on the screen do too. That sounds like can y'all hear that?
Yeah, but I also feel like I hear an echo, like I hear you twice.
You hear me twice?
I'm gonna leave out and come back in.
Oh, that's it, ain't it? Nope. I still hear it. Hold on, let me make sure it's not me. Cause hold on.
I don't hear it anymore.
It was you.
Is it me?
No, it was
me.
No,
Vicky?
not you. Yep. Now we can't hear Vicky no more.
No.
We can't hear
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
What about now?
Low.
No. It's low.
Yes, it's low.
Is that any better?
A little.
A little, but not much.
Not much.
Okay, let me go back to my microphone. Give me 1 second, you all. Bear with me, please. What about now? Is that better?
About the same.
It's like a little crackling noise.
Yeah, I hear that noise. Let me see. Okay. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I'm gonna unplug it and go back.
That's a little louder though.
It is a little louder?
Yeah. It seemed like it's static with whatever you touching. Not up here, down lower. Whenever you touch something down low, static come in.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can. I can too, but I still hear that.
But it still sounds like water is dripping.
Yeah. It's like a static sound.
Whatever that is, it's the same thing that we heard a couple weeks ago with another one of our sisters. She was it was in her mic system. So let me see. I'm gonna mute us one at a time, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna mute myself. I don't hear it now. I think it's me. I don't know what it'll say. Hold on, baby. All right, let me do this. I'm gonna mute me. We gotta go ahead and get started. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let Eric B come in. Eric is hailing from Wilberforce University. I'm gonna let him go and mute my mic and work on that. Eric, you ready?
Yeah. Go ahead. Do the
I'm
topic.
ready. And his the name of his story is Late Night in a Cornfield.
Yes. How you all doing? God bless you and good to see you all alive. I'm going to talk about a story of me as a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Upsilon chapter at Wilberforce University. I crossed March 12th, 1989, but I began my journey in 1988. So Wilberforce is as you all know, if you haven't visited, a little small college that's congregated on a hill with a bunch of different little country type situations around it, like cornfields, bean fields, lima bean fields. You'll see sweet corn and then raw corn. I learned all this because while I was pledging, Wilberforce was set up where it used to have this little building that had the fraternity housing and a couple of sororities housing. And this building was pretty much about 500 feet away from Wilberforce. You could walk to it, but you had to cut through a little small cornfield that used to have raw corn in it. You know, I learned that because while I was pledging, any type food looked good. I don't know if you all know about that. So that cornfield, God bless the other fraternity and sororities through 1988 and 1989, because that cornfield was a passageway for all of us to use during certain times of the night. And only in the HBCU experience will you see groups helping each other versus fighting each other and versus trying to tell on each other, trying to spite each other. We used to always run into each other and help each other. And shouts out to the Kappa line of 88, 89. Shouts out to the Deltas of 88, 89, Sigma Gamma Rho 88, 89. Pretty much, I had the experience of dealing with 2 years worth of crossing members of fraternity members and sorority members. I'm actually having memories right now, and we use, yeah. I'm actually having memories right now. So we I had to pledge twice. In other words, if y'all didn't catch what I was saying, I had to pledge twice, and it was times the deltas that was online, the Sigma Gamma Rhos, the Kappas that was online. My first time ended up being helping me coming to the same cornfields, helping me when I was pledging my second time. You know, so it's only in that HBCU where you all see that type of love, that type of bond amongst each other. And it's been times I slept in that cornfield overnight. It's been times I've hid in that cornfield overnight. It's even been a time I actually was stupid enough to take some of the corn and thought I could boil it and eat it, and found out that it's nasty and you know what. So this cornfield, like I said, it had so many memories, good and bad, because it's plenty of times where I got caught. Me and my line brothers got caught by different visiting bros, and you know they would pretty much try to do whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So we was much grateful to get back home to the yard or get back to the frat house. So this cornfield, even though it was a simple planted field, it represented a lot as far as Wilberforce University. A lot of fraternities and sororities trusted sending their pledgees back and forth through this cornfield. A lot of activities happened in this cornfield, and it was just always be a beautiful memory in my heart. And I see my baby Tracy back on the phone. Yeah, so it's pretty much that's how my life started. That cornfield, going through it, and then eventually I started having pledges in that same cornfield.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Eventually, you know,
You knew
because
where to
for a
find
while,
them.
I admit I stayed away from it. For after I crossed, for a while, I just stayed away from it. I had enough fun going across Central State and Wilberforce, and then like you were always talking about traveling to other colleges is nothing else. Like, you know, I traveled to Ohio State and UC and other big colleges, but it was nothing else like traveling to a HBCU college and visiting and the experience, you know. And them two brothers is talking about Tennessee State Band and Grambling State Bands, which was pretty much besides Florida, well, I think it was Florida A&M band. Those was the three best bands that was in Black College back then. So,
Yeah.
you know, they pretty much had a real experience. I'm gonna look that up about my man. But that's my story. That's how cornfield was a memory in my life, and because of Wilberforce University. Thank you.
So something tells me. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah.
That there was a
Yeah,
whole
but you're
lot
a
going
little
on in that
frozen on
cornfield.
my end.
A little frozen.
Mm-hmm.
I still hear that noise. I don't know where it's coming from. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get some of that started. I'm gonna come out and come back in. But it sounds to me like there's some other stuff going on in that cornfield that you probably just ain't releasing to us. But it
I
sounds
don't
like
want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Sound like you spend a lot of time in that cornfield.
Yeah, we're trying to encourage these students to come to Wilberforce University. We don't need to tell them any stories that might have a negative effect on them, okay?
But why is he trying to make it sound like that cornfield was so small? That cornfield was gigantic.
Yeah, well,
you could hide in that cornfield, and it was tall.
It turned into just small because it just seemed like you always get caught. That's because the previous people have been through the same thing, like you said.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's crazy. I remember your line very well.
I just came up here to see.
Did you hear the trivia question? From what I got taught, Wilberforce University was the first private university. Did you hear that too, Tracy?
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't hear what it was built for. That when Vicky said that about the mulatto children, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did hear. Dean had told me stories about that. That it was a bunch of, like Dean would say, there was a bunch of light-skinned Negroes going to Wilberforce then.
If Dean said it, it's so. Let me just say that. If Dean said it, it's so.
Right, because he knew it all.
Yes, he did. So thank you very much, Eric Boone. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Eric was one of the first people that I met there.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Eric, yeah, that was that first week when they were sitting around looking for all the freshmen.
Fresh meat.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a gentleman, Eric. Before you became a dog.
When they were coming through there assessing the produce.
I will take a bullet for you, Tracy. I will take a bullet for you. So don't worry about it.
I love it. I love it.
Anything for you. I love you to the day I die.
I love you too.
Yes, ma'am.
HBC love. That's what it's called. HBCU love. That is what it is. So let me do a quick trivia, and then we'll move on. And hopefully that shit'll stop whatever that is. It's irritating.
Between stories.
Just do like you said when the story starts. Just mute yourself, and then let the person.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll
do. All right. Question is for. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. Here's a good one. What HBCU, and anybody in the chat can answer. You two cannot answer, of course. What HBCU was the result of a split from Wilberforce University and is the alma mater of the likes of opera singer Leontine Price, as well as Omarosa Manigault Newman? What HBCU was the result of a split from Wilberforce University and is the alma mater of the likes of Leontine Price and Omarosa Manigault Newman?
You know, Leontine Price went to Wilberforce for a minute too.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Anyone? Nobody in the chat? Chris, not you?
I have no idea.
We can't
across the street.
Question. Me and Tracy can't answer that question, right?
Nope. Central State University, right across the street. Located right across the street. So I guess I guess this packet of rolling papers will have to be mine. I guess.
Hold on.
Blaze up.
What's that?
I guess. All right. So next we have Miss Creative Crystal, who is a former student of mine, actually, but a high school student. Now, Crystal, this is hilarious. Crystal told me I didn't go to Tennessee State because I partied so hard, my mama wouldn't let me go. Second thing is, she said, I didn't go, but I sure was there. I was there plenty of time. Can I tell a story if I got a lot of experience at Tennessee State? I said, absolutely you can. So just so you know, Crystal does have she has a condition with her soft palate, which is healing. So her voice is a little frayed. So she's going to take it easy and tell us her story. So here she is, Creative Crystal.
Yeah, Dad.
Now, I wrote down a couple notes. So I went to Detroit Academy of Arts and Sciences, and in 2003, Reverend Marshall, and he was the founder of our school. So the counselors ended up taking a bunch of the seniors in 2003 down there for homecoming. And it was amazing. Ooh, so amazing. I just spilled my wine. I got excited. Like, really excited. So, anywho, we went down there for homecoming. And it was the first homecoming, HBCU homecoming, for a lot of seniors already. I was told a lot went down in the hotel rooms, and we were only 17 and 18 years old. We learned a lot about the HBCUs, and we even learned songs like Get Geek, Get Geek. It's homecoming week. We don't go to class. We don't go to sleep. We party all night and we drink all day. So my brother ended up going to TSU because my mom didn't let me go to the school because she already knew my personality. So I wanted to go to that school so bad. Like, so bad, even got accepted. So that's one memory about it. And another memory is when I went down there to visit my little brother. He took me to a Kappa Alpha Psi tea party in the daytime. So, like, oh, it's a tea party. Yeah, I'm 21 finally. It's a frat party. Let's go. Let's get it. You know, I'm single. I'm young. You know, frat guys, blah, blah, blah. And my cousin, which is a Omega man, he helped my mom drive down there to the homecoming. But he didn't let me hang out with him and the bros. He's like, no, not you, Chris. Hell to the no. You can't come hang out with me. So I'm like, all right. So anyhow, my brother took me to a Kappa party in the daytime at a club. No, it was hardly no lights, no windows, and I got towed up pretty much off of some little cheap wines or just whatever. I don't know what was in the drink. I was just drinking it. So my mom had to pick me up from the hotel. I called her. She was at the hotel, and my brother was like, "Oh, it's fine. It's okay, Chris. Everything is cool." I called her. She said, "I'm parked out front." Come on, Crystal. I'm like, dang, she know her baby. You know, and I was only 21 and I was so excited. I walk out the club and my eyes did this.
Because
I said, oh Lord. I didn't even know that it was like still daytime. I thought it was the nighttime, but that's another experience. But I just had like really, really great experiences down there in Nashville, visiting my brother, and he'll be here soon. And he's still a Nashville resident. And he also, well, he's close to graduation from Tennessee State University, but my experiences from HBCU at TSU was amazing. Not just the partying, but I learned so much from not only Black professors, but white professors who taught there as well. So I just
Interesting.
want to thank all the DAS, Detroit Academy of Arts and Sciences counselors that took us down there, that introduced me to HBCU. And hey, I'll be 35 in November, but it's not too late for me to be a graduate of one. So
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. I was just gonna say that, Chris.
yeah.
I
So
was just gonna ask you that.
yeah. But Wayne State University, I did join the BSU there. So that was a little something, but it's nothing like it. You know, they say the blacker the college, the what? The sweeter the knowledge. So
See, I never heard that.
yeah.
I never heard that, but I like it. I like it. I like
Yes,
it.
the college, the sweeter
Wow.
the knowledge. Yeah, so I feel
So,
like I missed out. I really do. And I feel
but
like if I would have went down there, it probably would have, you know, got me a little straight, you know? So, and
but you
everybody
can
know
still
I'm a
go.
party girl. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That reminds me of when Tracy and I were at Wilberforce University, there was a lady that came in '88 with us. We called her Grandma. You remember that late, Tracy? You remember that? The woman was, I think, if I remember correctly, she was 64. Anybody in the chat remember her? We called her Grandma. She came in the first semester. And I think she stayed, I want to say 2 semesters, but the reason that she was there is she said that she had put, I think, 3 kids through college and she'd never gone to college on her own. So she promised her herself. She was a heavy set, kind of tall lady. And I remember her specifically. I remember seeing her going up that hill to the buildings, because it was kind of a steep hill for somebody that was that age. But every day she'd be climbing up that hill and coming down slow, but she did it. She did it. And she didn't finish. I want to say she did 2 semesters, I think it was. But I remember how impressed I was with the fact that she was able to do that. That she, even if she didn't finish, she went. She went. So I thought that was commendable. So yeah, Crystal, it's never too late. Absolutely, especially you only in your 30s, it is not too late. I remember this too when I was I was probably junior year maybe, and I was at Fulmer's, went to the grocery store in town, Tracy, and ran into this woman that's from my hometown, and she saw me and said, "Vicky," and I went over to her. I was like, "What's going on?" Anyway, long and short of it was, she was bringing her daughter to drop her off so that she could start school. And at that time, her daughter would have been right around your age, and she had 2 children. Wow. And she was bringing her so that she could register. And of course, I knew her from home. So of course, I became her instant babysitter. But she had 2 little girls, and she had really set on whether or not she could do that with 2 babies. But she did that with 2 babies. She got a bachelor's degree and then went on and got a master's degree at at Wilberforce University with them 2 babies. And she was right about 35, 36. So it is possible. It is possible. All right.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to one. So
yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see. I'll be a positive Patty about it.
Yeah, yeah. And you just move in non-traditional housing and maybe be a resident director or something like that. Or yeah, you can do that.
And I'm much more mature now. So there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
So thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Crystal. If you all have not shared the stream, please do that. We have one more story that's mine. I'm going to make that quick and we're going to get out of here. But before I do that, I'm going to do one more trivia for the grand prize. Let me see. I have some that were sent to me. Let me read one of these off. Okay, so the question is, what university did Stephen R. Smith and Louis Farrakhan graduate? From what HBCU did Stephen R. Smith and Louis Farrakhan graduate?
Let me Google it.
No.
Was it Morehouse?
No, but I'll give you one more chance. I'll give you all 3 chances. So you got 1, you got 2 more.
Shannon, you crazy. Vicky, you said you got 1 more story left. We got 2 stories left.
Okay, we got another one?
Me?
We didn't. Oh my God. Yes, we got. Hello. Duh. Stephen R. Smith and one more. Louis Farrakhan. Y'all gonna want this gift. All right. You ready? He actually went to the same university that Nikki went to, Winston-Salem State University. So they went to Winston-Salem State University. Okay, I'm just going to show you. No, I'm going to hold the gift because I may still be able to give it out. I'm going to hold it there. All right, Trace, where you going? I'm about to call you in. She is pulled out. All right, share the stream, please. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not. Tracy, I'm not sure exactly what she just did, but I guess what I can do, I'll give her a few seconds, and if she's not back in a few seconds, I will do my story and then have her close it out. And it looks like she's here.
My phone. This happens every time I come on here.
You in here now, baby. You in here now.
Okay.
So, all right. Tracy went to LaPorte University too, as you can see. And Tracy's story is, the name of her story is
Stalker. And this story is not funny, but it does get funny at the end. So, and you will find out why Vicky is my ride or die to this day when I tell you this. So let's go back to November 1991. I had just turned 21 years old, and I decided to take a few of my friends from Wilberforce to Cincinnati to party for my birthday. And the ride is like an hour and 15 minutes. So we went to this nightclub called ZELLE, which actually was in Covington, Kentucky. Covington, Kentucky is across the river, so it's nowhere. We had the best time living our best young lives, and I was drunk as hell because that's what I did back then at 21 years old. And so I'm just floating through the club, and this guy grabs my hand that I can remember, and I'm hearing some feedback. I don't know who that is. It might be me.
Turn your down a little bit. Let me turn mine down a little bit. Maybe that's.
So he grabbed my hand and he asked my name, and I told him my name, and he said something like, "Are you from here?" And I said, "Yeah, but I'm not here now. I go to Wilberforce." And he said, "Oh, I go to Central State." So that's all I really remember about the conversation. I know we exchanged phone numbers, and I kept floating through the club. We may have danced, I don't remember. So I think the next day or two, he gave me a call. I was back up at school, and he wanted to meet me. I said, okay, but let's meet in Cincinnati because I'm going home this weekend. So he said, okay, gave him my address. He showed up at the door, and I must have been drinking really heavy because when he came to the door, I was like, because he wasn't my type. Like,
you don't look nothing like you did at the club.
You didn't look, when I was drinking at Boone's farm, that's not what I saw. So this guy, to say the least, not being mean, but I mean, I'm just keeping it 100. He looked like a turtle, and he just was not my type. But I was polite. I think we just went driving around the block a couple of times and talking and stuff. And he said, "You seem like a nice girl. I really want to get to know you, blah, 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 blah." So flash forward back up at school. You know, he would always say, "Can you come to my," because he had an apartment off campus. "You want to come over? You want to have lunch? I'll fix you lunch." I was like, "No, I don't think I want to do that," because he was just weird to me. He gave me weird vibes. So I had a roommate and I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. She might have gotten up to take a shower, and I was on the bottom bunk, and all I remember is the door opened, so she's going to the shower, and then I rolled over and the door opened again, and I opened my eyes, and he's standing over my bed in the dark in my room. And I'm like, how did you get in here? And he was just standing there. He was like, you won't call me back. So I just started saying, get out of here. You got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. He left. And then he was still like blowing up my phone and stuff on, you know, the house phone at school. I'd never take his calls. And then one day, Vicky and I were up in the King Science building, which was where all the classes were housed. And I was getting scared because he was always calling and like showing up and stuff. So we looked out the window. This is my ride or die right here. We looked out the window and saw his car parked in front of the Union, because in order to get out of the building, you had to walk down the hill, and you either went to your dorms or you went to the Union. And he was parked in front of the Union because everybody went to the Union. So I said, Vicky, please, let's just change coats. And she said, okay. So she put on my coat. I put on her coat. She went out one door. I went out another door, but we were still going to go to the Union. So when she gets to the bottom of the hill, because I'm going in one door to Union and she's going in the other door to Union, he's screaming, Tracy, Tracy. She took off her hood and turned around, and he started her, and it wasn't me. And he was furious, furious. So he drove off. We went in the Union and we laughed. We busted a gut for about 20 minutes laughing at that story. But then it got a little more serious, because one weekend I went home again, and he called me at home, and he was like, you trying to play me? You trying to play with me? I don't know who you think you are. I'll F you up out your face. So I had to have my stepfather get on the phone, like, who are you talking to? What do you think you're going to do? And he hung up the phone. But after that, I didn't see him anymore again, ever, even when I came back to Cincinnati. But I found out that this guy that I'm telling you about graduated from high school with my now current husband, and they know each other from high school. So it just goes to show how the world is small, but there are some crazy people at your HBCU that, and he was just right across the street at Central State. But again, it was just somebody that I randomly met in the club, and he just happened to be in school same time I was, right across the street. But he was really weird, really weird. And that's the only scary story that I really had, being at Wilberforce. But that was enough. That was enough, especially when I woke up and saw him standing over my bed.
Tracy, he went to school with Mike?
High school. Yep, class of 86.
Small world, right?
Because Mike saw him out somewhere and came home talking, I just saw my boy. Oh, I ain't seen him in years. I was like, your boy who? Alfonso Smith. I said, what did you say his name was? And yeah, Alfonso, he went to Central State. I was like, oh, I got a story about that dude. Because I had never told him. It wasn't no need, you know. So yeah, that was crazy.
Wow. Did he ever see him again? Like, did he know that you married Mike?
Yeah, he knew, because I think they saw each other one time after that. He said, I found out you know my wife. And he knew me by Tracy Palmer. And he was like, yeah, she went to Wilberforce. Her name is Tracy. And I think it was like Palmer, something like that. But I just tell him, I ain't got nothing to say to dude. He's weird. He's a creep. Don't ever invite him over here, you know. But I don't even think he lives in Cincinnati no more. He got a big wig job at some distillery, Miller, or one of those beer companies. And I don't think he's here anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? I know.
But it
one
was
thing.
so funny when you took that coat on, man. I couldn't thank you enough.
That guy could spit fire when he saw me. You hear me? He could have spit fire. But he wasn't gonna say nothing to me, because he didn't, you know, he didn't really know me or anything. He just kind of like,
right.
You know, he was mad though. You could see it all in his face. I was like, ooh, you dodged the bullet with this guy right here.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. I did.
I do remember. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for stalking.
Welcome. Thank you for wearing my coat.
Okay, so let's do this real quick. I'm gonna give you my story real quick, and we will go. So my story is named, the title of my story is Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Bursar's Office. Now, if you've gone to an HBCU, you already know this. Just like, and I've heard, I think 2 people mentioned something about it today. It's always some shit that happened when it comes time to pay your bill. It's some shit always go down. You be thinking, what the hell are y'all doing? Are y'all using the money at rallies? What is going on? Because I knew when I left here yesterday, I had some money coming. And now it's time for me to start a new semester. And y'all talking about you $5,432 in the hole. It just never failed. It never failed, right?
Can I interject one thing, Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
How did I have a sister that went there and she always got a refund check and I didn't? I mean, stuff like that with the bursar's office. Like, she always got a refund check and I never did. I'm like, our tuition and stuff was the same. It was just weird.
It was always something. It was always something. And you know, quite honestly, most of the folk there were there on financial aid, right? That's just the bottom line. So the bursar's office was always packed to capacity, and they were always behind. And as far as they were concerned, you always owe money and you can't come back next semester until you get it paid. It was just always like that. I don't care what kind of financial aid you were getting. So it had become kind of like, it was the norm. You kind of expected it. You'd be fine when you left. You wouldn't even get no information saying that you got this bill to pay when you come back. So say, for instance, you go home for Easter vacation. You go home for Easter vacation, you don't know nothing except for see you later, have a good time, see you later, we'll see you when you come back. When you come back and start hitting them lines, everything is fine until you get to the bursar's office. When you get to the bursar's office, you have a balance that hasn't been paid. It just never failed. So this one particular time, I was home for Easter break, and I'm trying to think of what happened that caused this, but I think that it feels like I was going to come back a couple days late or something like that. Long and short of it is, I know what happened. We made a call down there because my mother was sick and tired of this. Every time you got there, it was something different. That's what happened. So my mother said, you know what? Let me just call first because I cannot go down there and hear this speech again. It was at the place where, you know, my mother's very, very sweet. She was very, very, very Christian. So she didn't use profanity or any of that. My father was a complete opposite. I'm probably the perfect blend of both. But he was a complete opposite. So it was so bad that when it came time to go to the office, and he would always take me back to school, I would say to him, when it came time to go to that particular office, everything else, I would ride myself. When it came time to go to the bursar's office, I would say, Daddy, come on, let's go. Because I already knew it was going to be some shit. And if he got mad at him, he's going to cuss him out, and they'll start getting it together. That's how bad it was. But this particular time, my mother was like, that's it. You know, I'm going to call first. She called down there, and they told her that I had this huge bill. And I'm going to say it probably wasn't that big at the time, but it was more money than we had. So I'm just going to say it was probably about $1,500, but we didn't have $1,500. That was a lot of money for us back at that time. Here's the interesting thing though. And this goes back to all that you've heard or you will hear about the fact that an HBCU is a community. You know, the HBCU is a community. I know what I just said about the bursar's office, and I mean all of it. I mean every bit of that shit. But at the same time, when you're talking about the people that make up this community, it is a community. So I'm home, and we get this. You got to pay $1,500, and if she can't pay $1,500, she can't come back. We don't, you know, that's the balance she has. My mother was sick. She was sick. She was sick, and I remember how all of a sudden that pressure came down on us. She didn't have that kind of money. She didn't have it, right? I was dating this guy at the time, and I had been dating him for probably about 6 months or so. But the thing about this guy, first of all, he was a wholesome guy, you know. But the point of it was his parents were crazy about me, right? And he was kind of like he was an old man's baby. His parents were older. He's the only child. And I think that's why he was wholesome, because he was, you know, the only child. Both parents were older. And they were living on their retirement. And it wasn't easy. I know that because we used to talk about it, you know. So his mother had had retired and was still doing things on the side to try to keep it going, you know. And they were both 60 plus, right? Probably closer to past 65. But the long and short of it is, when he told his mom and dad that I wasn't coming back, his mother called my mother and said to her, she was an older lady. Now I remember she kind of sounded like this when she talked. She's real sweet too. I remember she said to my mother, I heard your baby ain't coming back. You know, my mama said, no, she's not gonna be able to, because we can't do that, you know. I knew how tight it was at their house because we talked about that. I knew how tight it was. That woman said she got to come back, because if she don't come back, my baby gonna be sick. And mama said, yeah. And mama said, well, you know, you trust me, you know, you don't want her back more than we wanted her to be back in school, but we just can't do that. That woman got off the phone, talked with her husband. It was probably another couple of days. And then she called us back and said, how soon can y'all get her to school? We done paid that bill.
Boom.
I will never forget that. She said, how soon can y'all get her back? We done paid that bill. I don't know where she found that money. I don't know where she found that money, but
God.
She did whatever she had to do for a couple of days and called back and said, we done paid that bill. Get that baby back to school. Because I don't think my baby going to be able to handle it if we're going to get her back to school. So, you know, I don't even have to tell you how, first of all, my mother was a giver. She, you know, that was not her issue. But oftentimes givers don't get a chance to receive. They're always giving, you know? So that was probably, I feel like that was God for real, because she don't even receive. She, you know, first of all, folks didn't really offer her. She just gave. And then when they did, she didn't really know how to receive. This was the first time I think I ever saw my mama say, just in awe, just say, thank you. You know, there was nothing else she could do except say, thank you. You know, thank you.
Wow.
So that's just an example. That's just one example. I could probably do 5 or 6 stories about stuff like that, you know, but that's just one example of how a community, you know, an HBCU is a community that comes together to support it, you know, to support each other, to support itself. You know, that is the beauty. That's the beauty of going to an HBCU. I don't care what nobody say. I'm comfortable with people that when I go in them, you know, when my professor is acting like Mr. Abbas. I'm gonna say this real quickly. Those who went to Wilberforce know Mr. Abbas. Mr. Abbas was an African brother. I think he was Somalian. But what I remember about Mr. Abbas is that I hated math with a passion. I still don't like it. But Mr. Abbas was a math teacher. That was probably the first time I ever skipped a class. I mean, really skipped a class, because I didn't like math. So I just decided I'm just gonna skip it all together. I figure out how to get around it. Only at a HBCU will your professor find you in the cafe. First of all, I didn't even know he knew my name. That's the first. Right. Let's start there. Because I avoided him so much in his room. I didn't think he knew my name. Mr. Boss found me in the cafeteria. He smoked like a chimney. He smelled like he'd been smoking since his mom plopped him out. That's how much he smoked. It was horrible. I mean, you could smell him coming down the hall. And at that time, you know, there were no regulations about you had to smoke outside. So every time you see him, he looked like this. It never failed. That's how he looked every time you saw him. Mr. Boss bought that stinking cigarette in that cafeteria. Found me. I could see him looking. I didn't know he was looking for, you know, I just saw him looking. I just turned my head thinking, I hope he don't see me, because I ain't been to class and I don't know when. Mr. Boss came over to my table and said to me, Mrs. Brent. I was like, Tracy was sitting with me, about 4 or 5 of us. He said, Mrs. Brent. I was like, huh? You know, you can get around my class. You cannot get. I said, oh, you know, That man got through telling me off. He told me, you can't graduate without my class. I don't care what you trying to do or how you trying to do it. He said, I want to see you in my class tomorrow on time in the front. I was like, you know, and then he grabbed that stinking cigarette and walked out.
Sure did.
I bet my ass was up in there that next day, front and center, looking like,
why am I here?
Right. They ain't gonna do that nowhere else. So I'm saying to you, I want to be somewhere where somebody care about me. That's what that let me know. You know, that's what that let me know, that we care about you. And we ain't gonna let you, we're not going to knowingly let you do something that's going that where you're gonna hurt yourself. Not knowingly, you know. So I love my HBCU. I love my HBCU. Very thankful for my HBCU. Very thankful for you all who came to share your stories with us tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you again. Do you all have any parting words that you'd like to say before we leave?
My kids don't want to go to a HBCU. I think I failed as a parent.
Oh God.
Do they have what reason do they give you that they don't, Tracy?
The bullshit reason was I'd like to be around all cultures.
That's this generation.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking that's that newfangled shit. But yeah, man, I heard something very similar. But you know what? My daughter hasn't told me that she doesn't want to. She hasn't told me she has either, but she hasn't said she doesn't want to. She's looking, right? But I'm gonna tell you what, that's all good and fine. But when you need somebody that'll find you in the cafeteria, you ain't gonna have them. And then you're gonna remember. Then it's gonna come to you. You're gonna come back to yourself and say, where my people at? Right. You know, and hopefully, you know, it's not too late when you do that.
I'm gonna share. Can I share something?
Yeah.
Quick and short. You just brought me back. Obviously, I disappeared. I had to do my duties. So dinner was cooking. Anyway, you made me think about it. Well, Vicky knows this, but I'm legally blind. And so when I went to Tennessee State, you know, I had to go to the disabled student department and all of that, right? And had to let them know, you know, I needed accommodations and all this, that, and the other. And so you made me think about this professor named Dr. Montgomery. He was a white guy on a black campus, right? And I'm telling you, the care and the way he allowed, it was a bio class. Long story short, he came to me, he says, I'm gonna tell you something. He said, you better not ever tell anybody this, you know, in this class. He said, if you do, I will fail you instantly. This man gave me all of my tests prior to the actual exam time. So knew exactly what the test looked like, my midterms, my finals, or whatever. And I'm going back, and I'll do a plug for HBCUs. I'm going back to the whole care thing. He's a white professor, you know, but obviously he had something was in him to be teaching on that campus. And obviously all of our math teachers were Iranian. I didn't understand half of them until I failed the class and had to take it back over the next year and finally understood what they were saying. So we had a pretty diverse faculty. But I will never forget, and I ended up getting a B out of that biology class. But if it wasn't for him, you know, doing that and going out of his way for me, he didn't have to do that. You know, I had to do what I had to do, do the whatever accommodations that I had. If I had to study extra long or whatever, I would have had to do it. But all that to say, for anybody who is on the bubble who may be watching, I absolutely 100%, you know, would encourage going to HBCU. I had mentioned earlier about Tennessee State being a state university, and it went through this metamorphosis of becoming it was a black college, and then it went to a historically black college, and then all these diversity, all these different, you know, political things. Because it wasn't until they put money into it and opened it up, and all of a sudden you got white kids there with on minority scholarships to a whole nother level. Part of the reason we was protesting, because after we did that protest, things changed, but it changed for everybody else who came in later. But I still would say, man, if you have an opportunity, don't be closed off to it. Do your research, study. I mean, for me, I studied all black schools. I think the only school that I looked at that wasn't a black school was Western Michigan. And that's because they had a program for people who were visually impaired. But every other school I applied to was a historic black college. I just knew that I was supposed to be on a black campus. So maybe think about that, the care and, you know, the concern. A whole bunch of other stories about just, you know, caring professors and stuff like that. But You made me think of that when you was talking about the math teacher.
Professor Abbas. Professor Abbas. For anybody who might be
just want to add something.
Say it again, Crystal.
I just wanted to add something real quick as well. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thankful that my little brother, even though he's a male and my mom allowed him to go, and he's the youngest, he has family down there that aren't blood. And she didn't have to worry about him. So that really, that really touched my heart. Knowing she didn't have to worry about her son, because he had ended up meeting families down there and best friends, and he was taken care of. So that's one thing I can say about CSU, or a historically Black college that you won't get anywhere else, So I'm grateful for that as a big sister. So
that's awesome.
That's it. Absolutely. And I think we can wrap it up with that. So again, thank you all. I appreciate you for spending your time with us. That's those of you who are on panel and those who may be looking on, because I know that you could have spent your time and gave your attention to something else, but you decided to spend it with us. So I'm very thankful for that. Very thankful for that. Love you all to life. Hope that you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful holiday, because a holiday is coming up. So hopefully that you have a wonderful holiday and you just enjoy yourself. Love on yourself, share some love, but don't forget to save some for yourself.
That's good.
You feel me? All right. Have a good one. And I will see you all next week. Same time.
All right. I'm going to holler at you, Vicky.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out with 3T. Now, you can help us build this platform by simply taking a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe.